Few villains blend humor and horror as perfectly as the Joker, whose arsenal ranges from playful tricks to deadly weapons. Today, we're breaking down every major device this chaotic mastermind uses, ranking them from the least to the most lethal. Let's start small but shocking, with a twisted take on a handshake prank that perfectly captures Joker's blend of intimacy and danger. Joker's Joy Buzzer. The Joker's Joy Buzzer perfectly shows how he turns everyday social rituals into deadly traps. It looks like a simple prank buzzer, one of those harmless devices that shock you with a little jolt when you shake hands. But Joker's version is no joke. Concealed in his gloved palm, it delivers a lethal electric shock strong enough to incapacitate or even kill instantly. This weapon first seriously appeared in 1952, during the Golden Age, when Joker's gadgets blended clown gimmicks with real lethality. The handshake, a symbol of trust and friendship, becomes a moment of ultimate betrayal when Joker fires that electrified surprise. It's intimacy weaponized, twisting something familiar into a deadly trap. The shock is obviously exaggerated in the comics. Victims convulse violently or get thrown across rooms, sometimes reduced to smoking wreckage. That's cartoon physics. But it's based on real stun gun technology, which delivers high-voltage, low-current shocks to briefly disable someone. Joker just cranks that concept to absurd extremes because, well, why not? Though less lethal and versatile than his other weapons, the Joy Buzzer carries massive symbolic weight. It embodies Joker's philosophy. A joke should hurt. It's not mass carnage, but psychological terror, death hidden inside an innocent handshake. This explains why it's rare in modern media. It doesn't fit big action scenes, so it stays a creepy narrative tool to unsettle victims and readers alike. That personal intimacy contrasts sharply with weapons that cause mass chaos, like his acid flower or Joker venom. But the Joy Buzzer's real power is how insidious it is. A handshake-turned killing move, the ultimate clown punchline. Up next, the acid flower. A deceptively sweet weapon with a far nastier bite, acid flower. The acid flower might look like your typical clown's lapel decoration, but it's anything but innocent. This bright, oversized bloom squirts out a rotating menu of nastiness: corrosive acid, knockout gas, laughing gas, or sometimes, just to mess with people, harmless water. Joker's signature gadget isn't fixed to one purpose. Its modular design means he can swap out cartridges on the fly, making every spray unpredictable and keeping his victims, and readers, on edge. Before you brush it off as a silly prop, consider how the flower puts Joker's chaos philosophy on full display. It's a weapon that teases and tortures. One moment, you might get disfigured by burning acid searing your face, perfect for his sixth sense of theatrical cruelty. And the next, you're suddenly knocked out cold or coughing on clouds of maddening laughter-inducing gas. Sometimes it's all smoke and mirrors, literally, for Joker's amusement. Officially, the acid flower is a precision weapon meant to hit a victim's face directly, aiming to disfigure or incapacitate rather than dish out mass casualties. It's not a shotgun blast, but a scalpel-sharp intimidation tool. This puts it a step above the Joy Buzzer in lethality. More dangerous at close range, but limited because it only targets a few people at a time. Its pressure-pumped nozzle can quickly spray acid at close distance, blinding or crippling unlucky foes in vicious detail. Comics show streams of corrosive liquid arcing from the flower's center straight toward the eyes or mouth, Joker's very costume punishing an opponent's face. But that's not all. The same nozzle can release knockout gas clouds or Joker's signature laughing gas, creating a chemical smokescreen that torments victims psychologically as well as physically. The acid flower has appeared across almost every Joker medium. Comics, cartoons, and some live-action portrayals all embrace its versatility. However, this variety has created confusion. Some stories treat the acid flower and the gas flower as separate devices, but most sources agree it's one multi-use gadget with interchangeable payloads. Its theatrical presence ensures it's always delivering some form of terror, whether visible acid burns or invisible neuromuscular poisons. Joker values this weapon not just for its deadliness, but because it's an extension of his persona, a harmless-looking flower transformed into a tool of chaos and destruction. It's the ultimate blend of humor and horror, where a classic gag prop doubles as an instrument of physical and psychological torture. But here's where it gets complicated. Because its payload can be acid, gas, water, or nothing. The flower embodies Joker's unpredictability perfectly. Nobody knows what's coming until it's too late, not even the victims, or sometimes Joker himself. This unpredictability adds an extra layer of terror. Every encounter with the flower is a twisted gamble. In the hierarchy of Joker's tools, the acid flower shines as a weapon of terror rather than mass slaughter. It's all about close-quarters chaos, intimidating opponents, disabling specific targets, setting up torturous moments that blend pain and performance. Compared to his more sweeping gas attacks or lethal chemical weapons, It's a smaller scale but exquisitely Joker kind of menace. If you think an unpredictable flower spraying acid and gas is intense, wait until you hear about the Joker's deadliest weapon yet, laughing gas. Laughing gas. Laughing gas is one of Joker's most insidious weapons because it weaponizes something so innocent, laughter. But here's the kicker. This isn't laughter that brings joy. It's a neurotoxic aerosol that hijacks the brain's laughter centers, forcing victims into uncontrollable manic giggling that can quickly incapacitate or even kill depending on the dose and variant. Before you write it off as a goofy prank, hear me out. Joker's laughing gas isn't just a twisted party trick. It's a precision chemical weapon with real strategic versatility. In many storylines, it acts as a milder, non-lethal form of Joker venom, designed to incapacitate swarms of enemies or hostages without killing them immediately. But then there are deadlier variants that unleash lethal Joker venom gas, killing victims while leaving them with that grotesque, terrifying grin, the Joker's ultimate signature. The gas can be deployed in many ways. Classic grenades that explode and spray neurotoxin across a room, balloons filled with the aerosol for stealth dispersion, and even large setups like parade floats or ventilation systems that fill entire buildings or events. This scalability lets Joker adapt the gas for everything from quick escapes to terrifying massacres. One version might just stun a security team with uncontrollable laughter, leaving them helpless. Another cloud, thick with lethal Joker venom, causes convulsions, chest spasms, and deadly asphyxiation ending in a chilling fixed smile. The data shows the milder variants tend to induce coma-like states, rendering rooms unconscious but alive. The lethal ones push bodies over the edge, making mass murder look like a twisted joke. Here's where it gets dark. The irony of laughter as a symptom of fatal poisoning is exactly the monstrous inversion Joker thrives on. Laughter, usually a symbol of joy and connection, turns contagious and deadly. Crowds bursting into laughter only to collapse, twitching or gasping for breath, flips joy into nightmare fuel. That contrast amplifies Joker's trademark chaos. Classic portrayals nailed this disturbing concept. Tim Burton's 1989 Batman featured Smilex gas, a chemical combined with consumer products that caused fatal grins and mass panic. It wasn't just poison, it was psychological weaponry, turning everyday items into death traps. Then there's the Arkham games, where Joker fills hideouts and arenas with toxic gas, forcing Batman to navigate deadly laughter clouds while holding his breath. These depictions keep the fear fresh by showing how unavoidable Joker's laughter can be. But it's not all kill first, laugh later. Joker's use of sublethal gas shows he understands controlled chaos. Sometimes he needs a live audience, hostages who scream in silent terror beneath forced smiles, or a crowd frozen long enough for dramatic entrances. In those moments, choking on laughter becomes psychological torture instead of outright murder. Of course, incapacitating entire crowds with endless laughter has limits. Environmental factors like wind or ventilation can dilute or divert the gas, cutting its effectiveness. Joker probably enjoys this unpredictability. A breeze scattering toxic green mist across Gotham's streets is exactly the kind of chaos he sees as another punchline. Compared to earlier weapons like the Joy Buzzer or Acid Flower, laughing gas is more scalable. It can affect dozens or hundreds at once, turning rooms into helpless laughing mobs or gruesome death chambers in moments. It's the perfect middle ground between one-on-one tricks and Joker's largest biochemical horrors. Ultimately, what sticks is how laughing gas turns laughter, a symbol of happiness, into a grotesque, weaponized symptom of death. Joker doesn't just kill people, he makes them die smiling. That inversion haunts long after other violent acts are forgotten. Fans debate the line between Joker's non-lethal laughing gas and lethal Joker venom gas, since terms sometimes blur. Some say there's a tactical split, sublethal gas for captives and shows, lethal for headlines. Others claim it's all the same deadly formula, dialed up or down to fit the story. Whatever the case, the evidence proves Joker's laughing gas is both a versatile weapon and a psychological nightmare. Its ability to incapacitate crowds without killing opens complex hostage scenarios, while deadlier forms offer citywide terror wrapped in a nightmare grin. But if you think toxic giggles are unsettling, wait till we reach something more brutally straightforward. Next up, the weapon that hits harder and closer, crowbar. Crowbar. The crowbar is about as simple and brutal as Joker weapons get. No gimmicks, no slapstick, no hidden chemicals, just a plain metal pry bar turned into an instrument of raw, intimate violence. It's famously the tool Joker used to savagely beat Jason Todd, the second Robin, in the 1988 Batman storyline, A Death in the Family. That single act cemented the crowbar as a symbol of Joker's power to inflict terrifying harm without flashy tech or goofy props, just bone-crushing, face-breaking pain. Before you dismiss it as rusty hardware, hear me out. The crowbar's simplicity is what makes it so disturbing. Most of Joker's weapons have clown-themed flourishes, a joy buzzer handshake, a flower that sprays acid, Joker Venom's poisonous grin. But the crowbar is the opposite, a realistic, grounding weapon anyone could pick up. Yet in Joker's hands, it becomes one of the darkest, most emotionally scarring tools in his arsenal. In the comics, the crowbar appears most famously in a single key storyline, but that moment has sent shockwaves through fandom and media ever since. Joker's merciless beating of Jason Todd isn't flashy or chaotic. It's slow, brutal, and horribly personal. The crowbar demands Joker be right up close, striking Jason again and again until the damage is catastrophic. Unlike the poisons or explosives Joker prefers for mass chaos, this weapon takes down one person at a time. But the psychological impact is next level. What truly sets this weapon apart is that Jason Todd's fate was decided by a reader vote, making the crowbar a participatory symbol of death. DC Comics let fans call in to decide whether Jason lived or died. Death won by only 72 votes. So, the gruesome violence Joker delivered with that crowbar wasn't only scripted by writers, it was chosen by fans. A simple metal bar turned into an iconic murder weapon bearing the weight of real-world audience complicity. Physically, a crowbar is a deadly blunt force instrument. It can break bones, crush skulls, and cause lethal internal damage. It requires close quarters and sustained effort. Joker has to get his hands dirty, literally. That closeness makes the violence feel more raw and immediate than a chemical weapon or bomb. This isn't Joker hiding behind gadgets, it's personal torture made terrifyingly real. Narratively, the crowbar goes beyond simple lethality by carrying deep emotional fallout. Jason's brutal beating haunts Batman and readers for decades, shaping the tragic Red Hood persona and proving Joker's wounds go deeper than physical damage. Compared to Joker's theatrical chaos, the crowbar cuts straight to the core of genuine abuse and trauma. It reminds us the simplest tools can deliver the cruelest horror. That grim symbolism is why the crowbar earns its spot here, even though it lacks mass destruction or versatility. In real terms, it only kills one victim at a time, and Joker rarely uses it beyond this landmark story. Still, no other Joker weapon matches it for emotional weight or narrative impact. It strips away the clown tricks and exposes raw cruelty. And if you think the crowbar's personal horror is unsettling, just wait until we get into Joker Venom, the chemical weapon that turns victims into smiling corpses by the dozen. Joker Venom. Joker Venom is the weapon that perfectly captures everything twisted about the Joker's style. It's clever, sadistic, and utterly terrifying. This chemical toxin forces its victims into uncontrollable laughter, locking their faces into that haunting, permanent grin before killing them within seconds. It's not just murder, it's a grotesque punchline carved onto each victim's face. Before you dismiss it as just another poison, hear me out. Joker Venom isn't a static toxin. It's incredibly versatile. It can be dispersed as a gas that floods entire rooms or city streets, sprayed as a liquid, or left as a deadly residue on objects. The Joker has famously tipped bullet casings with it, turned everyday items into venom-coated traps, and even infected his iconic handshake buzzers with it. This means no one can ever truly trust even the smallest, most innocuous contact when Joker's involved. The victims all share a chilling commonality. They die with that fixed, mocking smile, a rictus grin that transforms the crime scene into a macabre joke only Joker could appreciate. It's his signature. Gotham's detectives can often recognize his work just by how the corpses look. More than a weapon, Joker Venom feels like an extension of his identity, a way to say, "I'm here with every death." What's utterly bone-chilling is that Joker himself is immune to the toxin. Thanks to repeated exposure, the toxin flows through him harmlessly. This immunity isn't just a convenience, it's a horrifying illustration of how intertwined he is with his chemical madness. He's not just using the venom, he's practically become part of it, a living embodiment of his own lethal joke. Joker Venom's lethality ranks near the very top of his arsenal for good reason. Its efficiency is unmatched. A small amount can take down dozens in moments when released as a gas. Joker has used this ability to conduct mass terror campaigns, blanketing Gotham in his deadly laughter gas to incite fear and chaos on an unprecedented scale. It's scalable from one-on-one attacks to citywide assaults, making it his weapon of choice for overwhelming Gotham's defenses. This toxin perfectly fits Joker's twisted ideology. Death should look like a joke. There's something darkly poetic about victims collapsing in hysterical laughter, smiling grotesquely as their bodies betray them. It's not just murder, it's performance art. Terror wrapped in a clown's smile. And that visual signature, the fixed grin, is a chilling calling card no one forgets. Community fans often debate just how realistic Joker Venom's effects could be. Sure, no chemical in the real world locks your face into a death grin while flooding your lungs with spasms of laughter, but that's not the point. The toxin transcends biology to become a metaphor for Joker's cruelty, joy and pain, comedy and death, fused inseparably. To sum it up, Joker Venom is not just a weapon. It's the physical manifestation of everything Joker stands for. A perfect, grim joke of a toxin that kills swiftly, leaves a horrific signature, and ties the killer directly to his victims. If you think that's chilling, wait until you see what kind of inventive chaos Joker pulls off with his gag gadgets next. Various gag gadgets. Joker's arsenal isn't just big, it's weird, wild, and downright creative. Beyond his signature weapons, he's loaded up on a whole menagerie of prank-themed gadgets that turn everyday joke shop items into deadly traps. Think exploding cigars, chattering teeth bombs, sword canes, flamethrower lighters, razor-edged playing cards, trick flower squirters, poisonous joy buzzers, even acid-squirting whoopee cushions. These aren't just silly props, but tools twisted by Joker's madness into instruments of chaos. Here's the thing. All these gadgets start life as harmless objects we associate with humor or leisure. Cigars mark celebration or class. Chattering teeth are classic gag gifts at kids' parties. Sword canes have that old-school charm of John Steed in The Avengers. Flamethrower lighters look like something you might find in a novelty store on steroids. But Joker flips the script. He injects lethal surprises right into these everyday items. Light that cigar and it might blow your fingers clean off. Turn those wind-up teeth on and they scuttle wildly before becoming tiny bombs. Flick open the lighter and you get a jet of scorching flame instead of a puff of smoke. Each seemingly innocent item masks danger behind a veil of whimsy, which perfectly reflects Joker's obsession with turning humor into horror. Most of these gag gadgets don't usually serve as Joker's main weapons, though. Instead, they show up as one-off surprises or environmental hazards in his crime scenes, lairs, and showdowns. That's actually their real power. The sheer unpredictability of what everyday object might be booby-trapped keeps his victims, and the audience, constantly on edge. Imagine standing in a room where any flower, cigar, or card deck could instantly kill you. Trust me, that psychological impact is huge. You never quite know if a gift from Joker is a deadly trap, or just a sick joke. It's enough to make Gotham's criminals and cops alike trust literally no one and nothing. Effectiveness varies wildly across this gadget category. Some are designed purely to distract or annoy, like laughing gas-squirting flowers that fill a room with unstoppable giggles, or wind-up teeth that clatter across the floor just to freak people out. Others pack a real punch, like exploding cigars that detonate with deadly precision, or razor-sharp playing cards that slice through flesh and bone like kitchen knives. Flamethrower lighters and sword canes push things even further, mixing terrifying lethality with a twisted kind of elegance. Each device operates on a different scale, from mild inconvenience to outright death, but collectively, they transform any space Joker occupies into a hazardous funhouse. Walk into his lair, and you're dodging death in a dozen bizarre, unpredictable ways. What makes these gag gadgets so memorable and so beloved by fans is the sharp contrast between their campy, cartoonish surface and their genuine lethality underneath. They perfectly capture Joker's unique brand of inventive madness. He's not just some cackling villain with conventional guns or explosives, he's a trickster who twists laughter into a weapon that cuts deep. The dark slapstick tone remains, but the stakes are always terrifyingly real. Fans debate these gadgets endlessly. Some prefer the whimsical, almost lighthearted take where the teeth just pop and cigars fizz harmlessly, keeping things closer to old-timey slapstick comedy. Others lean into the brutal, vicious side where every joke hides a covert kill switch ready to ruin someone's day permanently. This tonal flexibility means Joker's gag gadgets can fit anywhere, from kid-friendly cartoons and video games to the grimdark extremes of graphic novels, and that's exactly why these twisted toys endure. Ultimately, Joker's gag gadgets showcase the boundless creativity and chaotic genius behind his arsenal. They're a carnival of death disguised as party favors, a constant reminder that with Joker, even the most innocent object can whistle blow, bite, or explode at any moment. And if you think that's already unsettling, wait till you see the dark, brilliant horror behind his most dangerous creations. Joker's weapons evolved from clever, deadly pranks into full-blown instruments of mass destruction, and nothing showcases this more than his large-scale biochemical horrors. Take Titan from the Arkham series, a terrifying mutagenic formula that transforms ordinary humans into monstrous brutes, with brute strength rivaling Bane himself. It's a perfect symbol of Joker's monstrous ambition, turning the people of Gotham into his personal army of freaks, a walking chaos machine powered by science gone mad. Before you shrug this off as just video game exaggeration, hear me out. Titan isn't just a strength enhancer. It obliterates whatever humanity the victim had left, leaving mindless, rage-fueled weapons under Joker's twisted control. This isn't just another gag toy or toxin. It's the Frankenstein's monster of Joker's arsenal, pushing his legacy from street-level terror to apocalyptic villainy. Then there's Joker's infamous citywide gas attacks, massive releases of Joker venom, or his laughing gas variants that poison innocent crowds en masse. These aren't just crowd control tools. They are chemical weapons designed to sow panic and carnage at what could be a devastating scale. Entire buildings, blocks, or even the whole city have been targeted in his gas attacks, leaving mass casualties laughing their way to death or slipping into comas. Joker's laughter echoes throughout Gotham not just as a sound, but as a chemical curse spread by the winds. It's terror dressed as comedy on a grand scale. And let's not forget his most ambitious terror plots, like the attempted bombing of the United Nations General Assembly. This one's easy to overlook if you only know Joker as a Gotham clown, but he's demonstrated a chilling global reach. Disguised as an Iranian ambassador, he planned to take out world leaders in one devastating strike. It's Joker's ultimate theatrical act, mass destruction on a geopolitical stage. This level of planning and ambition shows he's no mere chaotic prankster. He's a patient, calculating terror mastermind willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to make his twisted punchline land. Here's the thing, these creations aren't just weapons, they're statements. Titan embodies his monstrous defiance of humanity, turning people into weapons of raw violence while symbolically erasing their identities. Citywide gas assaults reflect a macabre blend of science and theater, weaponizing laughter itself to cause widespread suffering and chaos. And the UN bombing reveals Joker's willingness to escalate from local crime lord to global terrorist, using his venomous clown brand as a nightmare logo for apocalypse. What makes these mass-scale weapons the deadliest in his collection is their sheer lethality and scope. Unlike his smaller gadgets, which might kill a handful or stun a room, these creations threaten thousands or even millions. Titan armies could tear Gotham apart with brute force alone. Gas clouds can silently assassinate crowds without gunfire or explosions. A successful bombing of the UN's leadership would destabilize the entire world order. It's a level of destruction that dwarfs anything else in Joker's joke shop. This evolution from the familiar to the apocalyptic says a lot about Joker's dark philosophy. His early tricks weaponized intimacy, a handshake, a flower. His mid-tier tools corrupted joy itself with deadly laughter. But these heavy hitters turn the entire city and even the globe into his stage, showing a Joker who embraces not just chaos, but calculated mass terror. He's become a villain who no longer plays for laughs alone, but for annihilation. Of course, this raises complicated questions about his morality and legacy. Is the horror of one isolated death, like Jason Todd's crowbar beating, worse or more poignant than thousands dying in a gas attack? Does Joker's monstrous form as Titan Joker symbolize a loss of his humanity or its final twisted expression? These debates among fans show how Joker's weapons force us to reckon with different scales of evil, from intimate cruelty to apocalyptic malevolence. And that's the kicker. Nothing about Joker's threat is static. His arsenal will always reflect his shifting madness, pushing boundaries between comedy and catastrophe. Titan and citywide venom remind us that beneath the jokes lies a methodical, terrifying mind, ready to burn everything down. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, click the video on the screen now.